It was 1893. Minnesota roads were dusty, bumpy, and muddy. But people needed to get around, and they did that on bikes, on horseback, and in buggies. Way back then, a group of bike riders and farmers came up with the idea to form an association that would help coordinate the growing need for good transportation in Minnesota. That group became Minnesota Good Roads, and as its name implies, it focused on ensuring that good roads were a part of the Minnesota transportation system. Its first meeting was held in St. Paul in January of 1893 with the goal of getting those muddy roads paved and helping farmers get their products to market. Even back then, when the decision was made to turn a racetrack into an airfield, which later became Wold Chamberlain Field and today's Minneapolis-St. Paul International Airport, important decisions needed to be made on transportation. Fast forward to today. We are still focused on transportation and ways to move products and get around safely and efficiently, whether it's by car, bus, rail, bikes, waterways, planes, or even autonomous vehicles. Minnesota Good Roads changed its name in 1989 to the Minnesota Transportation Alliance. As a statewide coalition of organizations, it has been steadfast in its mission to advocate for a safe and efficient transportation system, one that works for everyone. During the past century in Minnesota, we have seen dirt roads transformed into paved highways, the explosion of air travel and the growth of airports, the development of the interstate system, as well as modern-day light rail. We have seen both large and small bridges built to connect communities, expanded and improved highways, and new bike trails and walkways. And behind the scenes, making all this happen, is the maestro of transportation, the Minnesota Transportation Alliance, conducting, if you will, the Minnesota Transportation Orchestra, ensuring that all voices are heard and providing the knowledge base and the transportation facts to ensure that transportation projects get advanced and funded. How is it possible that one organization can last for so long and, most importantly, be so effective?
The staying power is, really significant. I mean, there aren't very many groups that have been around for 100 years or more, and this is one of them that is.
You need somebody like the Alliance that understands how complicated and diverse this transportation business is.
They talk about people's lives, the economy of the state, and so they're working for a multimodal transportation system that includes everybody.
The Alliance is what brings it all together in one voice and tries to look at how we can work together to develop the best transportation future for the state of Minnesota. It's a critical effort.
Being everything to everyone, their ability to do that and their longevity, that speaks to their success.
I think the Alliance does a really good job of looking at the characteristics, finding the things that we have in common, and us setting goals to work together to accomplish those things.
It tries to talk to each of the sides, or more than one side, in order to convince them that there's got to be a common ground.
There are so many things they've done, and even the most minor things to some people have been very major to rural counties like Stearns County.
Over all of these years, I think they have been the organization that keeps transportation alive and active and healthy.
A big part of the Alliance's effectiveness is bringing many groups together and its bipartisan approach.
You have to work both sides of the aisle in order to get things done. So you need everybody working together to provide a better transportation system in this state. And that's why the Alliance is successful.
It's a voice that speaks for transportation. It doesn't matter if it's Republican or Democrat, because a road doesn't know if it's Democrat or Republican, but the needs are great. And the Transportation Alliance has had great leadership. Through the years, there was Fred Corrigan was the director, Rick Kruger, and now Margaret Donahoe. Speaks with professionalism and credibility.
transportation is our core issue that we have. Everybody needs good roads. Everybody needs bridges. Everybody needs to get from here to there. We're blessed to have a Margaret Donahoe in here that is really the state expert in transportation.
This is an organization that brings everyone in transportation together to build alliances and reinforce each group's message and goals. The Alliance speaks to the needs of city, county, and state transportation officials, engineering groups, pavement associations, transit systems, and the list goes on.
Our job is to be the catalyst, so I think we really do play a role, but we don't always have necessarily the answer. We like to kind of bring people along to find the answer themselves, and we're really grateful to all of the organizations that are members of the Alliance, because that's really who the Alliance is. It's really the members who make this the organization that it is through their support, through their participation, through their expertise and their knowledge. That's what keeps the organization going, and that's what really helps make it successful.
Whether it's projects big or small, the Alliance is there. In the last decade, it has been an instrumental force in helping to advance the 2008 transportation package that raised the gas tax 8.5 cents a gallon, authorized local sales taxes, and provided much-needed transportation funding. It was vetoed by the governor, but thanks to the efforts of the Alliance, the legislature overrode the veto. Major bridge projects including the 35W Bridge, St. Croix Crossing Bridge, Dresbach Bridge in southeast Minnesota. Major road projects including new Highway 212 from Eden Prairie to Chaska, Highway 14 improvements in southern Minnesota, advocating for transitway projects and increased transit service throughout the state, significant funding for local roads and bridges throughout the state, and of course, going back even further, the 2006 constitutional amendment, which resulted in a new constitutionally dedicated revenue source for Minnesota roads and public transit that continues to make a big difference today. And legislation passed in 2017 that dedicated the sales tax on auto repair parts as well as leased and rented vehicles to transportation. What does the future hold in store for transportation? Whatever it is, the Alliance will be there, ready to help.
It's a really exciting era, looking at automated vehicles. I think part of it is trying to figure out what needs to change within the infrastructure itself, what needs to change in terms of policies and laws that would facilitate the development and expansion of that in the state. And then how is that going to impact the system that our members work on? We're always adapting to whatever is happening at the time.
Today, we salute and honor the Minnesota Transportation Alliance on 125 years of incredible service to the people of Minnesota.
Happy 125th anniversary, Transportation Alliance.
Happy 125th anniversary, Minnesota Transportation Alliance. Thank you from Stearns County.
Happy anniversary, 125 years, the Minnesota Transportation Alliance. 125 years strong. Can't wait to see you do 125 years more.
Congratulations to the Minnesota's Transportation Alliance for its 125th anniversary.
Congratulations on 125 years, Transportation Alliance.
You've made such a difference in transportation in this state, and I am so pleased and proud to have been a part of it. Thank you.
Happy 125th anniversary.
Happy birthday, Alliance. This has been a wonderful ride so far, and let's keep it going.
Congratulations to the Minnesota Transportation Alliance on 125 years of great accomplishments.
I just want to say congratulations for a great 125 years.
Congratulations to the Minnesota Transportation Alliance for their 125th anniversary.
It's a great organization, and we wish it the best for the next 125 years.